Attorney General Jeff Sessions shoved back Monday night against Democratic lawmakers and former government officials who are invoking Nazi Germany to condemn the Trump administration's policy of separating illegal immigrant adults from children they bring across the U.S.-Mexico border. It's a real exaggeration. In Nazi Germany they were keeping the Jews from leaving the country, but this is a serious matter, Sessions said. Fundamentally, we are enforcing the law, Sessions told Fox News host Laura Ingraham. Hopefully people get the message and come through the border at the port of entry and not break across the border unlawfully. Ingraham immediately drew fire for downplaying, in the same interview, images of the stark conditions inside shelters set up by the Department of Health and Human Services for Children. As more illegal immigrants are rushing the border, more kids are being separated from their parents, she said, and temporarily housed at what are, essentially, summer camps. 2 hours before Sessions appeared on Fox, California Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein told an MSNBC audience that this is the United States of United States of America. It isn't Nazi Germany, and there's a difference. And we don't take children from their parents. Until now. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden on Monday morning defended his choice of a photo of the Birkenau camp on Twitter to describe what's happening at the U.S. border. I walked down that railroad siding where the families were separated, and that's why I used that picture, he said on CNN's New Day program. Look, I know we're not Nazi Germany. All right? But there is a commonality there. Sessions' view of his 2-month-old zero-tolerance policy's value as a deterrent isn't shared by Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. When a reporter at the White House asked her Monday afternoon whether the administration is intending to send a message, she replied, "I find that offensive. No. Because why would I ever create a policy that purposely does that?" Sessions said hours later that one positive impact of the multi-agency push to criminally prosecute border jumpers could be fewer illegal crossings. He also blamed the status quo on President Donald Trump's predecessor. "We have watched what happened with the Obama policies, and over years, we went from 15,000 illegal entries to 75,000. This is a huge loophole in our system that's attracting more and more people as more and more people understand that, under previous policies, if they enter the country unlawfully, that nothing will happen," Sessions said. He denied what some news reports have claimed, that minors separated from illegal immigrant adults are being mistreated. "We are taking care of these children. They are not being abused," Sessions insisted, complaining of a big surge of families bringing children, or some adults bringing children with them. A legal settlement dating to 1993, known as the Flores Consent Decree, prohibits the federal government from housing children in immigration jails along with their parents and limits the length of time authorities can hold those who are underage. The Trump administration has claimed in recent days that the Clinton, Bush, and Obama administrations ignored the law. A defiant Nielsen also claimed Monday that those presidents engaged in the same practices that have led to media and public outrage. They absolutely did. They did. Their rate was less than ours, but they absolutely did do this. This is not new, she said. They separated families. What happens to children separated from their parents? There have been reports that children separated from their parents after crossing the U.S. border illegally are being held in facilities for between 45 and 55 days. Wendy Young, president of advocacy group Kids in Need of Defense, said that during Obama's presidency children would be held for about a month, while the government tried to find family members in U.S. to take them in. Now, Young told The Washington Post, children are being held for longer before being moved on. She said, "We're starting to see that creep up more into the 45 to 55-day range." Discussing what would become the Trump administration's zero-tolerance migrant policy last year, then Department of Homeland Security (DHS) Secretary John Secretary told CNN that the Department of Health and Human Services does a very good job of putting the children into foster care or linking them up with family members in the U.S. The DHS has explained that there are 4 reasons a child will be separated from a parent: if there is reason to doubt the claim of familial relationship between adult and child, if the adult is being referred for criminal prosecution, if there is reason to suspect the adult is engaged in human trafficking, or if there is reason to believe the adult poses a safety risk to the child. Under the Trump administration new policy, all unlawful crossings are referred for prosecution, a process that moves adults to the custody of the U.S. Marshals Service and sends many children to facilities run by the Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS. Under the previous administration, such families were usually referred for civil deportation proceedings, not requiring separation. Because those found to have crossed the border illegally are now being criminally prosecuted, they are separated from their children, who are not deemed responsible for the actions of their parents. As a result, the parents are detained, and, because the children are not charged with a crime, they are not detained with the parents. Nearly 2,000 children were separated from their families over a 6-week period in April and May following the inauguration of the policy. Children under the age of 4 are not separated from their parents, officials have said, but this has been challenged by media reports and rights groups. According to the DHS, the U.S. government is bound by the Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act of 2008 to release unaccompanied alien children to the DHS within 72 hours absent exceptional circumstances. This does not apply to people from Mexico and Canada, however, who are eligible to withdraw their application for admission to U.S.